Hey everybody, give me just a second to get set up. Let's see here. I'll try to make sure we get all the rod tips in there. I'm going to see if I can get Wi-Fi out here or not. Oh, that's a good sign. Just a second, folks. We'll get in here and I'll set up. I always think there's one more step before it decides to go live, and it doesn't. It just, you're live. Cool. Hey, Caden, how you doing, my friend? So we are out at Lake Chickamauga in East Tennessee. There you go. So I'm fishing with skipjack. I brought these from back home. So, of course, I planned to be going live more than I have, which is none till now. Got in here yesterday about 2:30 in the afternoon. And, rod number 2 just got a nice hit. Looks like we got fish, folks. Yep, we got it. Oh, he let loose. Dadgummit. We'll see if he comes back or if he... Oh, and a turtle just popped up his ugly head. I don't think that was a turtle bite. We'll see if we still have bait on here or not. Give it a minute. See if whatever it was wants to come back for seconds. So I went out yesterday and was trying to do a little scouting, and there was a ski boat. So Dallas Bay, which is what we're looking at, it's off the river, right? So you'd think that the ski boats would stay in the river. They did not. And this one was a wake boat. I didn't recognize, I didn't realize. I thought it was just a regular ski boat. And it put off a wake I was not expecting. I hit it and I went airborne. And when I landed, crushed my spine. Absolutely. Just trolling motor deployed by itself. It was that hard of a hit. And actually managed to, the console is now loose in it. So it did a fair amount of damage, not just to me, but to the boat. I mean, not horrible. I just need to, figure out what screw popped and put another one in or whatever it takes. But I was in a lot of pain yesterday. Couldn't sleep last night. Ashley and the kids got here after dark last night, and yeah, I planned on waiting for her to put the tent up. So two people putting it up is easier. And last night I was just in horrible pain. Anyway, um, I went back to the boat, or maybe it was just getting out of the boat when I got back to the little dock that I was docked at, and I fell getting out of the boat. And then this morning I went to get some stuff out of the boat, and I fell getting into the boat. Ran into all my rod holders, which are on a bar. Needless to say that the rod holders are not going anywhere. So there's that. And yeah, I've been in a lot of pain. Hey Wildcat, hey Bobcat, I do break stuff. Release to the grease, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for coming in. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Ashley and I, we loaded up the boat earlier, and she's like, "Are you done with the boat?" I said, "Well, there's a storm coming in tonight. It's supposed to be between midnight and 4. It's supposed to be kind of gnarly, so I didn't want to leave the boat on the water, and I may be done with it for the weekend. Once you get that first injury, everything just compounds from there. So I got bruises and bumps and all that kind of fun stuff. And anyway, so went this morning to Chickamauga Dam. I was going to lock through last night, and I called them up, to see if there's any commercial traffic and how long it take. Like, well, it's currently broken. Oh, there is a gold-colored Cybertruck. If you thought Cybertrucks are ugly, I don't think they're ugly, but the gold is absolutely ugly, absolutely hideous. Hideous. Anyway, so I couldn't lock through. The lock was broken. They were figuring out what was done. I was like, "Come back in 30 minutes. We should know more." I was like, that was after I'd already tried to crush my back. I'm like, you know what? I'm going home or back to the campsite. So this morning, drove down to the dam. Casted it a lot. Didn't catch anything. There was another guy fishing there. He's like, "What you fish for?" I said, "Oh, skipjack." And saw a bunch of drum rolling. They were popping the surface pretty heavy. No skipjack. Other people there fishing, no skipjack. He said he caught a crappie and said I was welcome to it. So I took it back with me, and it's already been out and has already either gotten taken off the hook or died in process of, just too old. Went over to the 501 to 505 spots that Daryl, he rents these 5 spots every year, and they're community spots. Anybody can go over there and fish. This is the one that got hit earlier that I thought I had a fish, but I didn't have a fish. And nothing's happened since then, so I'm checking the bait. Figure I'm fishing on credit. Now I was exactly fishing on credit. So, the good news is I got a bite. When I was down there, Travis Young was down there today, and fishing with Big Mike's brother was down there, and his nephew. But this was early this morning. This was 7, 8 o'clock. And Travis said about 6:15 he had caught a flathead. I don't remember the exact weight. I want to say 16 pounds, maybe. And I may be completely wrong. But, and these rod holders are from Travis. Let's see. I swapped him some rod and reel for it. Stuff I had too much of, and he makes these rod holders, so there you go. Last night I went down that same spot, and Catfish Regulars was there. Laura the Explorer was there. Yak Shore, Mrs. Yak Shore, and Baby Yak Shore were all there. They live close by, so they went home last night. He said he'd be back up today sometime. Mrs. Catfish Regulators was there. Travis's wife and I think he said daughter and fiance were there. Um, I saw Daryl this morning when I went to pick up numbers. I saw FOA, Freddie and Nina, and not sure who the other people were. I was tired. Anyway. Jim, no, I'm not going to get checked out. My fiance is actually a nurse. It's just being old, fat, and inflexible. Bobcat. So skipjack are these. It's a fabled fish. It's kind of like a snipe, but it's a fish version of a snipe. People talk about it. They go hunting for them, but they ain't none to be found. And I mean, people told me the skipjack fishing down here was lousy right now. But of course, I went to Pickwick once, and I caught 22 or so that day. So I'm an expert. So I knew I could do better. I did not do better. Every gate was spilling. The generators were running, and all of the gates were open. They were spilling a metric bleep ton of water. Did see one guy with a cast net. He caught some, kind of small shad, and saw another guy catching bluegill, but a few bluegill, nothing exciting. Didn't see anything good caught while I was there. The one guy that gave me the crappie, he said that he had pulled in a flathead. I don't know if it was this morning or another time, 15 pounds or so. It's always good when you come to a new place and, everybody's, friendly and, because it was one of those community little, like a fishing pier or whatever right there at the dam. And I mean, right there at the dam. So I tried going a little further down to see if there was anything. I didn't see anything jumping, so I was like, I'm done. Like I say, I didn't sleep last night. I was tossing and turning, back hurting. It just comedy of errors in general. So the bass boats, a bunch of them got here around 4 a.m. and started launching like banshees. Let's see. What else can I tell you? I don't know anything else right now. So Skipjack, Cindy, and Travis are hopefully going to be here this afternoon sometime. Oh, on that subject, there's Skipjack, Cindy. Travis has been nice enough to make me up some sinkers. So Travis Young is not Travis. That's a different Travis that Cindy's with. Anyway, just for the people who don't know the difference. Travis is going to make me up some weights. Apparently cooked me a pie. So I am anxiously awaiting getting the pie. I mean, meeting them. Yeah, meeting them. I mean, getting the pie. And I got a little present for her too. Not that kind, believe it or not. And poor Laura, her campsite's about 10 down from me. And when I pulled in, I immediately recognized her. So I haven't even gotten to my campsite or anything yet. So I just stopped my truck. I go like, "Hi, is you want to be on our YouTubers?" And it took me about 4 times. She couldn't understand a word I was saying. She's like, "Yeah, you too." Like, "Hey, Laura, it's Mike." And so, I didn't flirt, so I'm not sure she even believed it was me. Yeah, I guess. Hey, NJ Fishing Maniac, good to see you. Do I know what fishing is? Yes. Fishing, this is when you have 5 rods. And actually, I had a pretty decent bite earlier, even during the live stream, no less. I was surprised as you were. But you know me, I turned it into not a fish. It's magic. I'm a magician. Yeah, Bob, and what's so frustrating, and I don't mean I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm not picking on anybody. But Rustic Outdoors, he goes down to Kentucky Dam. They've got a 500 fish limit down there. Here it's 100. Um, Down there it's 500. He's like, there's so many skipjacks that they're never going to run out. And I think I have a feeling that that's what people thought around here. That they're plentiful, they'll never run out, and then they did. I don't know if they moved up. I don't know if they moved. I don't know what they've done. But this whole going to the dam and catching them hand over fist just ain't a thing. Which is a shame because I really, oh, second rod. It's the same one that got bit earlier. Really wanted Ashley to be able to go down and catch a whole bunch of skipjack with me because I mean, when they're hitting, I won't say it's every cast. Maybe sometimes it is, but you can double up, triple up. It's fun. Now that's not a very good bite right there. That looks like a Scotty from Fun Fishing Adventures turtle bite. So, we're having a good time down here, hanging out with family. This is not what I would consider to be a primo area to fish, but it's where I'm at. It's right by the campsite. Okay, that line has gone slack. Now this one is on braid. Now I would love to pull in some fish on the Species Fun Alios 400. No, I don't. Oh, I don't have it out. Doggone it. It's in the boat. Let's say I have my Chaos Pro, but it's not out here. It's in the boat. So anyway. Now what doesn't make any sense is all these skipjack pieces are cut pretty much the same. Well, one of them's a belly piece with some guts on it, but I don't know if the guts are still on it. But this is the only one that's been hit twice now. And the baits aren't that far away from each other. So I think there was a bass tournament here this morning. Like I say, a bunch of them kicked off at 4 a.m. While I was down fishing with Travis Young, there was a boat fishing right there, and he came around that little point that they're at, and Travis kind of yelled, he's like, we're about 100 yards out with these rods, because they've all got surf rods. A dude didn't even respond. He just cranks up the big motor and hauls that butt out of there. I'm like, I think you forgot to say, thanks for letting me know or anything like that. But, for somebody who used to bass fish, I really don't have a high opinion of most bass fishermen. I don't know why we can't all get along, but apparently we can't. And Ashley went to the grocery store, I think this morning while I was asleep, because I came back and got some painkillers in my system. I was finally able to take a nap. I just felt bad, and air mattress tossing and turning all night. I was afraid, I'd roll too heavily and she'd just bounce right off the bed. You know how that goes. Little old skinny thing. So I'm not feeling anything on this anymore. Let's see if he got my bait. Yep. Let me go cut off another piece of Skippy. Check real quick, see what kind of wisdom everybody has for me. Oh, no connection. That's not good. So that's just on my thingamajig that I'm on. My tablet. So let me turn my hotspot on my phone on. Give me a second, folks. Apologize for not paying attention. Okay, so that's there. Yes, please. Yeah, I know. Oh, there's lots of stuff that came in. Okay. Wow, lots of stuff. Okay. Okay. Wow, I missed a lot there. Okay. Hey, Wildcat. Hey, Jose. Welcome in. Welcome in. Apparently, NJ caught him a big old carp today. Hey, Mr. Frosty. Welcome in. Disappeared April last year and never came back. Well, I wonder where they went to, right? When they had to go somewhere. And I can't imagine they all got spilled from one waterway to the next. So, don't know. Yeah, the ocean is amazing. I love salt water. Hey, competitive angler, welcome in, welcome in. Let's see, sea bass, lingcod. Big girls with them, then they released 80K for a week, and then they disappeared. So you think they went through the dam? I mean, they could. Mr. Frosty, these are stainless steel guides. They should hold up fine to braid. Let's see. Rooting for the end pole. So that end pole, that blue one, that is Ashley's. She won that at the gathering last year. That's a force rod by Triple City Anglers. And so needless to say, getting her to come back to the gathering this year was not a big, hard problem. I want a pack of hooks, and she want a rod. And this morning while I was out there with Travis, I saw
This may be too loud for you.
now.
Okay, but I think it'll kind of blow towards the chair. It's
Okay. Ashley was kind enough to set me up with a fan over here. Once you get bait on your hands, these gnats are just all over you. Go rinse off real quick. So I looked on the map when I picked up this campsite and wanted one that had electrical hookup because I have a CPAP machine. It also has water, but right across from us, it was supposed to have a bathhouse. Yeah, they tore it down. So we got a pretty good trek to the restrooms here. It ain't that bad, but I usually drive it because I'm lazy. Plus, as much as everything on me is hurting lately. Yeah, Cindy messaged me earlier. She's like, how come you're not live? I'm like, I'm lazy. I'm like, fine, I'll put on a shirt. Go live. And I'm one of those stupid people that I go to Florida, I get burnt first day or two. And it's like, no, stay away from the sun. So you would think I'd be paying more attention right now. I'm wearing a hat, but I did bring one back with me. Although I am under the tree, so I don't know how much I need one. I'm not seeing any pinkishness yet. I didn't know it had water hookup, so I bought 2 cases of water and 3 gallons of water. And Ashley, when she went to Walmart, she came back and said, yeah, I picked up a couple of gallons of water. I was like, well, I got water. So I got 3 gallons there. So, well, we've been going through the the bottles. I was like, I got another case in the truck too. Hey, Gigability. Who are you meeting down here? Well, Cindy, if you come to Campsite 93, you will meet Ashley, myself, and her 2 boys. And then if you go to the 501 to 505, you'll meet who knows who all. Big Mike, I'm sure, is there. Travis Young, I'm sure he's there. At this point, Yak Shore may be back by now. Catfish regulators. Lori moved. I don't know if she left because there's another storm coming in tonight. And she already got bit by one storm already. Uh-oh. Right rod. That's the Ashley rod. So it pulled, and then it went slack. And now it's still slack. See if I can feel anything on it. Yeah. It may have gotten the bait, but I'm gonna let it sit here. Let's sit here, see if it comes back for it, because whatever it was, definitely was.
Stood in it.
Yeah.
I know. I thought pulling was walking
So for everybody that doesn't know, Daryl does this every year. I guess it's third or fourth year of it that I know of anyway. And this year, big fish prize, 1,000 for first, 500 for second, 250 for third, 125 for fourth, and 75 for fifth. Anyway, I am monetized, Cindy. I'm as surprised as anybody. Well, Mr. Frosty, your routing worked well. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. You're headed out, won't be there till tomorrow morning. Little brother graduates in Dayton tonight. Well, he must be a very little brother, because you're like, what, 74? That wasn't nice. I apologize. Nah, I don't apologize. Anyway, I have fun tonight, Bobcat. Hey, Laura, you're still here waiting for your clothes dry. So are you headed home? Or what are you, or did you just move campsites? Because it looked like, I mean, you had that big 10 by 10 and it was gone. I didn't know if you bugged out or what. Jody, I am on the bank because I hit a wake boat wave last night and crushed my spine pretty good. And I've fallen twice since then, getting in or out of the boat. And yeah, plus her oldest does not like boats at all. It kind of turned into a family vacation this year, and yeah. Oh yeah, the bonfire's at 5:03 at 8 o'clock. Hey babe, there's a bonfire tonight at 8 o'clock. Yep. It's not gonna be like huge, but gonna be a bunch of people here. Cindy, so we're doing our own scales. The what? Oh, whatever you want to do, baby. Just using our own scales, showing us weighing them, showing locked in next to the fish with our number. Numbers weren't available till 7:30 this morning. Yeah, Jody, I as soon as the boat went airborne, I was like, oh crap, because I powered it down just as soon as I realized how big the wake was, but it was too late. Which means it's a good thing I powered down, because I did not want to hit the second wake like that. Yes, sir. It is supposed to storm this morning. They said between midnight and 4 a.m. So this is my first time camping as an adult. I did it, as a kid a couple of times, I think, but never as an adult, and never really intentionally. So this is all a new experience for me. I'm a big fan of indoor plumbing and air conditioning. And Jody, I saw James this morning. I don't know, 7:30 or 8 o'clock, I think. Saw a Hughes craft coming out of the camping area, headed down towards the ramps. Hey, fishing, hunting, outdoors, welcome in. Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew you'd been through that first storm. I didn't know if you had decided to hell with that, and we're not doing a second one. Yeah, I was disappointed that the bathhouse that I, had gotten a site across from is gone. They demolished it. I don't know if I was part of the storm or not. Yeah, that's why I got it, was for the CPAP, but I still like air conditioning a lot. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and reel in that the Ashley rod because I'm thinking I got my bait stolen. And I left all my small tackle at home, so I'm fishing 10, 12-aught hooks and at least 4-ounce sinkers, which is overkill for where I'm at. Oh, bait's still there. Yeah, like this one's got a 6-ounce cannonball in it. That thing you saw fly off, that was just a piece of grass. Bait still on it when it hit the water. This is not big fish area. I think it gets up to about 12 foot in the bay, somewhere in there. I guess it gets deeper in some other places, but anyway, I'm not really in a good spot. But it is where I'm at, and oh well. But I didn't want to leave my boat docked up overnight tonight with the storm coming in. Bad enough all the boats beating it up with their wake. I don't want to. Yeah. And turtle sticking his head up in front of me. Feel like Scotty. Well, gig, I think everybody's going to win a prize this year. They do like door prizes at the lunch tomorrow. They say it starts at 12. Last year was about 1:30 before they started handing out the prizes, the door prizes. Like I say, Ashley got a rod, I got some hooks, and they started going through the list a second time because they had so much stuff that was donated, which is nice. Daryl does a really good job with getting sponsors, and if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I am mistaken, he doesn't take a penny out of this for his own pocket, which, as much work as he puts into it, I wouldn't blame him if he did. I mean, he does a lot to get this going every year, and I don't know how busy the campground normally is, but it's, aside from these spots near me, most of it's full. A lot of people bringing in travel trailers. Oh, second rod. Well, why don't they like the other rods? I got 3 other perfectly good rods there that they haven't even sniffed at. Let's see. So the line's a little slack on that one. I'm watching it to see if anything changes. That may have just been a fish swimming by, running into the line. Well, Jose, I mean, I've got a CPAP, and I mean, I'm tent camping. They have primitive spots here, and that means you get dirt. Then they've got these. I think those were like $20 a night. These are $25 a night, and it gets you an elevated camp tent area thingamajiggy. It's got pea gravel all over it. A picnic table. This one has a fire ring, electricity, and a water spigot. So, no bathrooms, no air conditioning, but you know, we had fans running all night. So, yeah. Well, I was glad to get that nap in this morning because I was down there fishing with Travis and had my lines out, and I'm like, I'm going to try to take a nap in the truck. If anything goes off, wake me up. it's over a pound, it's yours. If it's under a pound, it's mine. And I couldn't fall asleep. So I just kind of packed it all up and came back here. And put the rod holders in, put the rods out, and cast out baits, and went to take a nap. So I believe that Ashley's rod, the one on the far right, that's the only one that's using a sinker slide. The rest of them, I think, are 3-ways. My goal was to do some bumping while I was out here, and, well, whatever. Did see the guy at the campsite down. He pulled in a little catfish last night, so at least I know there at least one that was here. Oh, there's Ashley's rod. Well, that was uneventful. Her rod line's still tight on it, so we shall see. Sorry, every time my chair creaks, it sounds to me like one of the line bait clicker going off a little bit. Oh well. Appreciate all you guys joining in. If you feel like hitting the thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you don't feel like hitting the thumbs up, I don't blame you. Well, Jody, at 8 o'clock tonight, up at 503, doesn't matter, 501, 502, 503, 504, they're all there in that same, as you get to the, so you got that little center island, which is not really an island, and then you got the big one, which is where everybody's at. As soon as you get on there, it's over to the right. So it'll be a big shindig up there tonight, I believe. I am pretty much just feeding the fish. Competitive angler, what'd you miss? Well, there was a couple of 300-pound fish caught. Oh, rod number 2's getting some little love taps. Not enough to set off the clicker, but Scotty, come down here and catch your damn turtles, would you? I don't know why you released them down here. You're supposed to keep them. Oh, no, that one went slack and then got tight, so that could be something useful. Yeah, it's tugging and dropping and tugging and dropping. Come on, give it a good screaming run. So just engage as a spool and turn the clicker off. Let's see if he wants to pull hard enough to hook himself. Disappointed that one a bit earlier. I mean, it felt like he was on there for a pretty good while. Hook may have just been too big for him. Yeah, he's still pulling. Just little tugs. Now it's going to slack again. Now it's... Come on, you can do this. I have faith in you, friend. So actually, competitive angler, Ashley's rod's gone off a couple of times. This one's gone off a couple of times. That's the extent of what's happened thus far. Which is like 1,000% more bites than I normally get. This is a J hook. I just try to cross his eyes right now, but there's a pull. Come on, you can do this. And then it's gone slack again. Now he's pulling. And I just see a turtle head pop up while it's still pulling, so that's a good sign. Now I tried to pull back from him a little bit, and he let loose. But he's still back playing with it. Now I can feel my own pulse in the rod. I don't know if he's feeling that heavy weight and bugging out or what. The line's fairly slack right now. That's interesting. Apparently 1 and 2 are connected somehow. I think he pulled the bait over, or pulled the line over it. No, they did take my bait. Oh, this one's on the sinker slide too. I lied to you. That explains why, because I was like, with a 3-way, I shouldn't be feeling as much movement as I'm feeling. Because this one wasn't a 3-way. Oh, told you I hurt. You know what? I don't even need to use clickers with these. Well, these rod holders, they're 1/2-inch rebar, and they are going nowhere. I'll go see if I can find some lighter sinkers. Actually, I may have some lighter sinkers. If I do, they're going to be pyramids, though. Not the best for this situation. Let's see. Yep, got some 1 ounce and 2 ounce. And Ashley asked me earlier if I had a knife that wasn't a fish knife. Found one in there that might not be too filthy. So I did sign from 1 ounce to 2 ounce for my Academy haul. They were kind enough to do a $5 off $5 purchase. And I might have took advantage of that offer multiple times. Now, it's not necessarily stuff I would normally pay a lot of money for, like sinkers that, you know, they want $4 a pack or $5 a pack for, but when you get them for under $1 a pack, I'll take it. That one was a little loose. I don't know how long it's been loose, so let's see what this chat's doing. Nighttime is your specialty. Well, that's true, Jody. You do like to fish at night. I was hoping to possibly catch a ride with you. Take me and Ashley out, and Jody put Ashley on a fish last year. Her first catfish was 23 pounds. And now Ashley's like, Mike who? Hey, Lawrence, you can fish with 50 hooks in Tennessee, maximum of 3 per rod, 3 hooks per rod. Treble hooks count as a single hook, just specific, you know, discrete hooks, I guess, you know, treble, single, double, whatever. But you can have, the only way you can go over 3 hooks on a line, on a rod, is if you're using a sabiki rig for bait. I tried to tell them I was using 10-aught hooks with chunks of skipjack for bait fishing. I don't think they'd believe me. $5 make you holler. There you go. Hey, Samir Saber. Hey, Real Life, welcome in. Appreciate you guys coming in. It's about a little over 5-hour trip from Memphis to here. My truck got about 13 miles a gallon pulling the boat. Now, I know this doesn't matter to any of y'all since you ain't in Memphis, but I was worried about the bearings in my trailer, not because of any issues, but I didn't want there to be issues. And a trailer, you know, boat and trailer is 10 years old, and I'm the second owner, so I don't know how far it got dragged with the first owner. I know I haven't done much with it, or dragging it places. But I had that blowout, and I still don't know why it blew out. And I'm thinking, as I go back through the trip, I'm thinking that that the tire popped because I knocked off the one of the tail lights for no apparent reason. I mean, I heard something clunky back there. I looked behind me, and it's rolling down the road. But even then, I shouldn't hear a bunch of noise from that. It should just pop off and go, right? So I think something popped off and hit it. Now, whether it was part of the tire, whether I hit something, I don't think I hit anything though. Anyway, so the trailer tire versus light truck tire debate rages on the internet, and I'll explain it to you. So, trailer tires are ST for special trailer, as opposed to non-special trailer. Trailer tires are made to carry more weight than light truck tires. They have a much stiffer sidewall than light truck tires. However, when you blow a trailer tire, you know how semis, when they blow a tire, it shreds? That's how trailer tires typically blow. And I think that's because they have that really stiff sidewall that it gets low on air and actually punctures, and you don't realize that you're running on a flat tire because it's not really flat. And then it gets hot and nasty and then peels apart. So, anyway, not where I was going with any of this. We're talking about bearings. So, I got new tires from Discount Tire. Again, the old one's 10 years old, so it's about time to get them anyway, right? And I wanted to make sure they were aired up properly before I left. So, the day before my trip, I went and aired them up, and they were, they're about 47 pounds versus 50. But the tire that blew, that rim had a lot of grease on it. Now, I may have had a lot of grease on it before. It may have gotten grease on it when I'm changed. I don't know how the grease got there. But you know what dirty grease looks like on rim. So I called this trailer place that I called a week prior because I was like, well, how much is it? And it was about $50. He said, $50 a wheel, or 60 depending on what type of wheel it is, what kind of bearings and that kind of stuff. To just replace seals, bearings, pack them, hold in the yards. So I called him at Wednesday afternoon, about 3 o'clock. I said, any chance you could get this in today? He's like, no, man, I'm booked up. He says, if you're here at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll look at it. I'll try to get you in and out of here. So I show up at 7 a.m. and the place didn't look like much. It looks like it was a house that had a deep lot. But once he opened the gate and you got to look in the back, you're like, okay. And then he had 3 or 4 workers show up at 7 a.m. too. And I talked to him and said, I can get back to you by noon. I said, man, last night we talked and you said you could do it in about an hour. I said, is there any way you could get it faster? And he's like, we'll get started on it now. Called me 45 minutes later. He said, I'll call you for this problem. 45 minutes later, he called me and said, it's ready. So I went down there. And, before I left it with him, I said, it's $50 a wheel, right? He said, yep. Making sure I had the right, just knew what the price was. And when he called me, he said, everything looked brand new in there. They said, we replaced it anyway, just, because the age and stuff. And how about we knock $20 off? So $80 instead of $100 after I've already agreed to pay you for $100. They said that the brakes in it look new because it's got the surge brakes, pads and everything, or the shoes look good, new. Everything. He said everything looks good in there. He said, I replaced the seals, replaced bearings, and packed them in like a second rod. And so anyway, I was in and out of there. Actually, I because I don't normally get up that early, I set my alarm and I was like, my plan was to pack the truck up and leave from there. I was like, I don't have time to pack the truck up, so dropped the trailer off and then went and packed the truck up. And as I was about to head back that way, he called me. Let's see. Cannot for Sabiki, exactly, yeah. Oops. Let's see. Everybody saying hi to you there. Bricloptic. Yes, Tennessee is, so Tennessee is a great state. Tennessee is an interesting state. So Tennessee is a very wide state, but not terribly tall. It's about an hour and a half top to bottom. but about 6 hours wide. West Tennessee is flat and pretty much nondescript. And we've got Memphis, and we got a bunch of fields. Just not a lot going on in West Tennessee. Middle Tennessee, you got Nashville, and you got a lot of rocks, like not mountains but hills that are rock that are made out of rock. And yeah, you get the Cumberland River goes through. I think it goes through West Tennessee and Middle Tennessee. Of course, the Tennessee River. You got Pickwick in West Tennessee. You got. It may not go through Middle Tennessee now. I think about it because it dips down to Alabama. I think it skips Middle Tennessee. You get over to East Tennessee. East Tennessee, you got bears over here. Not a lot of them, but like in Gatlinburg, I've seen bears. You got Gatlinburg, you got Pigeon Forge, you got what else you got over here? But then you got a lot of the Tennessee River. So you've got, Knoxville, you got Chattanooga, your two big cities out here. You got Watts Bar, Lake Chickamauga, you got the one catfish Dave hates, Fort Loudon. You got the Clinch River, there's more pools, I just don't remember what they all are. So the Tennessee River has a lot of dams on it. The Mississippi River, once you get, I think Cairo, Illinois, I believe that's the last dam, and I don't even think it's on the Mississippi as much as it's where the Ohio enters the Mississippi. So Tennessee dumps into, I believe Tennessee dumps into Ohio, and right before the Ohio dumps into the Mississippi. I believe that's how it's set up. And I think that the last actual dam on the Mississippi proper is up near Alton, Illinois, St. Louis area. So we don't have flood control at all on my area of the Mississippi. It floods, it goes, I won't say dry, but we can have a 40-foot drop from high to low through the year. Whereas the Tennessee River, you got all these houses. I don't know if you can see them or not. Houses, boat houses, all that kind of stuff. So they have to keep the river fairly level. Now it can obviously, they draw it down for winter pool to accommodate for rains expected in the spring. And I mean, it can flood. I mean, I guess you can get more water and can go through the dam locks. But for the most part, it's controlled. Lucas red and tacky is gold for packing berries. Yeah. He said they used wheel bearing grease. I said, was it marine grease? Well, yeah, Hispanic, by the way. So there's a little language barrier. But I trust he knows what he's doing. Oh, second rod again. I don't have the clicker on, so we're just watching the tappy tap tap tap. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for a takedown. You want it, take it. But yeah, I typically want to use a high temp marine grease when I'm doing it myself. And when I say doing it myself, I mean pushing out the old grease and putting in new stuff, using the Zerk fitting, not actually, doing the work of taking the wheel off and hand packing the bearing and all that kind of stuff. It's called work. I don't do work. Actually, it's not so much the work aspect of it that bothers me. It's I'm old and flexible and everything on me hurts. Tell you what, yesterday after that jar to my back, I was really wondering if I was about to be disabled. That sounds kind of silly to anybody who's actually disabled. But I mean, I was hurting so bad, I was afraid I had damaged a disc or more. and that, sitting for long periods of time even wasn't going to be a thing I could do anymore. But either it's settled down or my painkillers are doing a good job. I mean, it's just Naperson. Pringles, I have not caught anything yet. I've gotten a few good bites, actually. But, yeah. Yeah, the southeast part of the state, Chattanooga it's just beautiful down here. I mean, I liked it a lot better when I thought that skipjack were plentiful, but oh well. Real life. So these are Travis Young makes these, and what they are is it's 1/2 inch rebar, literal rebar, bent kind of like the takedowns or whatever. I'm not familiar with all the different bank rod holders, but it's still got the ridges and everything on it, and still rust and all that kind of stuff. Patina. But he bends the top down, and then he's got 2 cross sections that are double 1/2 inch rebar across. And I mean, like, you can tell they're handmade because some of them have a much wider horseshoe bend at the top than the others. And of course, everything holds one of these rods fine. And they're nice because they're like 2-position. You can stick them straight up, or you can have them more of a, I don't know, 15, 20, 30, I don't know, some kind of angle. Rod, I did see you there. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I appreciate you joining in. Fishing and hunting outdoors. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Real life. Hope you're having a good day. So I keep having turtles pop their heads. I did catch a turtle this morning when I was over by Travis's when I was reeling them in. I had a little, I think it's a painted turtle. Or maybe red slide. I don't know what it was. Not a snapping turtle. And I pulled it in, like, man, that piece of bait's big. No, it was a turtle attached to it. And the hook had just kind of wedged on him. It didn't actually pierce his skin at all. So I turned the hook this way, turned the turtle that way, and down he goes. And so kind of like he fell off when I turned the hook the right way and landed on his back. So I flipped him over, and he was actually facing away from the water, but he quickly turned himself around and he was headed right back to the water. Yeah, so we've got a fire ring here, and I'm a little worried about it, to be honest with you, because so they built up with timbers so they could build the campsite area with the pea gravel and stuff, and somebody's already burned part of the log, the timber there when they had a fire in there. I don't know. What I wouldn't give for a good takedown right now. And I hadn't seen these campsites before. I had seen the primitive one, and I just thought that's kind of what this was, but just had electricity. But like I say, all you get there is flat earth. Actually, not even flat. You get earth. And I told Shannon that she was welcome to, pitch a tent down here, because it was just gonna be me and Ashley, and I knew you could have 2 tents. So I was like, if you want to come down, you're welcome to. And then when the plans changed and the kids were coming, I was like, I was like, well, we'll make it fit. And then when they got our tent and her and the kids' tent set up, I was like, man, there ain't no room. So I felt bad about that. I do need to get with her because I switched my batteries to lithium on my trolling motor. Because when I was at Pickwick, I was running the trolling motor about 3 hours, pretty strong. Trying to spot lock, or spot locking actually. And after about 3 hours, one of them, they drained down pretty bad. I don't know if one of them's bad or not. I was like, lady with that sailboat that Skipjack Cindy's live stream, they went to pick it up, that kind of abandoned sailboat looking thing. And she said they had brought a trolling motor and a battery, and I was like, you know what? I got 2 batteries. You're welcome to them. So I need to hook up with her and give her a chance to take those batteries. They ain't coming home with me. Yeah, I think the catfish are in loving mood right now, which of course makes them harder to find. But in that campsite, the 501 to 505, if you look at it on Navionics, the channel is almost near shore. I mean, you have all those little black contour lines. It's like almost solid right there as it drops down lower or deeper. Hey, Crypto Billy, welcome in. Sounds like Ashley's about to kill a kid. And check his second rod because it's getting pulled a few times. Feels like there's still bait on it. No, it doesn't. I don't know. Find out in a minute. Nope. Fishing on credit. I'm going to drop off a 6-ouncer. Put on his lighter. Put on a 2-ouncer. For some reason, I don't hold bottom very well with 1 ounce. Not enough taut line anyway. That's interesting. Picked up some hydrilla. Not much, just, or maybe duckweed or something, but that's the first I've seen of vegetation here. Like that, anyway. I mean, I've seen the flooded grass and that kind of stuff, but that was a little different.
bro. Roll over.
I can't.
Yes, you can. You got all this space. And you have
No, it's not Ashley wanting to kill the kids. It's them trying to kill each other. Not sure which one to wish the best luck to. Yeah, I haven't checked the forecast to see what the temperature is supposed to do with the storm tonight. When I checked earlier in the week, the temperature is supposed to be fairly steady. Highs in the mid 80s, lows in the mid 60s. I was really thinking today I was going to go down there at crack of dawn and catch skipjacks and have a leg up on the competition. I did not have a leg up on the competition. And while I've got 10 and 12 aught hooks out, not really worried about the hook size because honestly, pound and a half channel cat can get that in their mouth. Fish are amazing creatures to me. They will look at something that can't fit in their mouth and still try. And the bluegills have been finicky. I think there's a bed over there where Travis and Young and them are fishing. Because I can't see it, but the bluegills are hitting like a bedding fish, just the snap at it and not trying to eat. They're just trying to kick things out of their bed. And I mean, usually the solution to that is use a trout magnet. And even when they try to smack it, it's so little they end up getting hooked anyway. But even that's not hooking them up. I had really hoped to show you guys a nice catfish today, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's kind of interesting, this whole gathering, right? I think Daryl said the first couple of years they did it, or at least the first year, there were a lot of kayak people coming, so they did it by length, and last year was length as well. This year they went to weight. There's not that many kayakers coming to it, but he did say that every year a bank angler has won one of the top prizes for, I don't know if it's first, second, or third or whatever, for big fish. So, everybody thinks you got to have a boat to get the big fish, and that's not necessarily true. Of course, now, people like Big Mike and Travis and they're using 10, 12, 14, 15-foot surf rods. So, I mean, they're launching it out there a good ways. Unfortunately, the area they're in is not, they don't have a lot of trees blocking them. Like this year, the rule says that the big fish is a bounty and you have to release the fish. Apparently, there was a kerfuffle one year. A person who had one of the, I don't know if it was big fish or at least one of the prizes, kept the fish. And that caused a kerfuffle. He's like, well, the rules didn't say that you had to release it, so, it doesn't change things. So I don't envy tournament directors when there's money in line. I mean, people get real trying to find reasons to disqualify other people. And no matter what you do, somebody's not going to be happy at the end of the day. Let's see. Hey, Tim Ivans, welcome in, welcome in. Only 5, right? There's 4 of us here, so it's only like 1.25 rods per person, whatever. The first year was won by some guy building a dock on the lake. There you go. Well, see, Fun Fishing Adventures likes to complain because they usually use 4 rods, and I always yell at him for using 2. Now, Scotty, you should be here, man. I have seen so many turtles. This is your kind of space. I mean, like right out in front of me, there's a turtle. Keeps sticking his head up. Fortunately, he's not caught. I have not caught him yet. There's 3 or 4 of them out here, actually. It's going great. I caught a 300-pounder while you were asleep on your rod. I caught a 300-pounder on your rod while you were asleep. Oh, well then while you were on your walk, I caught a 300-pounder on your rod.
That sounds right.
I think they're going to kill each other.
Yeah, they were joking around when I walked there. So
Oh, okay.
they were giggling.
Good, because it was kind of like Sophie's choice of who I want to win. How do I want this to end? Who do I want to be victorious?
I found shelter 4.
Well, I found it this morning, so.
It
But-
wasn't the one I was thinking it was, but it was near it.
Yeah, the other one's Shelter 3 probably. Shelter Me. It's up near the disc golf course,
Yeah.
which is like golf but without golf. No, she didn't believe me. Although I did get in an argument with some chick on the internet recently, Facebook. Making fun of the, as the internet has evolved since I was a kid, because it really didn't exist when I was a kid. the amount of information exchanged, right? So, when I was in school, high school, they always told the story about Pickwick Dam. There were some divers working on the dam doing repairs, and they saw a catfish the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, and they left and they never did another dam because catfish the size of Volkswagen Beetle, always a Volkswagen Beetle. And I mean, it's not just something I heard, but I knew a guy. Well, as the internet has brought people together, turns out that story is told about every dam everywhere. It's always the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. Always. So needless, and so I was making fun of that, and I said, there are no catfish in the U.S. the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. And this girl told me that I was wrong, that there was a 756, I think, pound catfish caught at the Alton, Illinois dam. And her dad told her about it. He's deceased now. But he knew the guy that caught that 700, and it was named 2 papers up there that it was in. And I said, honey, you do know that the world record blue cat is like around 150 pounds, right? She shut up. So, anyway. Hey, Justin Hill, welcome in, welcome in. And that's what's so funny about it is, that story, and I bet if you know anybody in their 50s, they've heard this story about whatever dam is closest to them. About the Volkswagen Beetle. I did see a story years ago on the internet. Loved it. Guy was out there catfishing, and he hooked on this giant catfish, and he could not get it in, and he was bound and determined he was going to get that fish. So he jumped in the water and he swam, followed his line down, and it was we'll say a 1956 Chevrolet. This catfish was inside this 1956 Cadillac down at the bottom of the lake. And the only reason he didn't catch that fish was because the fish rolled the windows up. I liked that one. That was a really good story. Damn it, 10 killer. Yep. Damn Grand Lake. See, I'm telling you, and it's not even my best friend's cousin's grandfather's third nephew removed, ex-wife's brother-in-law's sister uncle. I mean, it's somebody I grew up with, man. They no, I believe it. I mean, I believe him. I mean, it's somebody they never seen themselves, but they know the person who did. And if you knew how, I mean, you would think that being a dam diver would be the highest paying job in the world for how many people have quit because they were fixing a dam or inspecting or repairing, either one, underwater and saw a catfish the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. Now, the funny part is, nowadays, people like us are out there going, show me that damn fish. Where'd you see that fish? I will catch that fish. I want that fish. That will be my fish.
Sacrificial circle.
Sacrificial what? Yes, we were being sacrificed. Right. You have 2 sons. Every day. Like it or not. Well, Brycloptic, guess what, buddy? You are, in fact, the first person to ever donate to the channel. Now, you haven't, I mean, there hadn't been a whole lot of time that people have been, I mean, I've been monetized for a week or so. But that $2, I will spend it wise. I will not spend it wisely, but I'll spend it. A snow cone was $4. Hey, Colin. Haven't caught anything, but we've had some good bites. The largest one never caught could push 108. It really could, because I mean I remember when the world record was caught at Lake Texoma. I want to say it was 112 pounds, maybe 120. I don't remember when it was, but that was 20 years ago, and you know that was one of those records that would never be beaten, and it has been beaten senseless. The rumor back then was that he caught it on the 12-pound Zebco, like Zebco 33 or whatever, with the 12-pound line that it comes standard with. I don't know if that was true or not. I do remember donated it to Texas Wildlife, and they either auctioned off or sold the bones of a whole chicken that they fed to this gigantic catfish. So when they fed it this whole chicken and it processed it and processed the bones, they I don't know if it was a raffle that they an auction or what, but they sold them. You're not allowed to use those words, kid. Once you turn 18, you can use them. I did find a knife that I don't know how fishy it's been.
Okay. You can get around to get some soap.
Oh, second rod.
Where's the little bait rod? What's that first one?
It's in the back of my truck. In the bed. In the backpack.
Like in the back seat.
No. Backpack. My truck has a backpack. 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 I think it's got a little Beatles or mine's Beatles spin on it. Bets, but who cares?
I don't know.
It's words.
I'm gonna find it.
You do that. But see, I was really looking forward to Shannon being here, because Shannon will catch some bait. She'll catch bluegill all day long. Not that Ashley doesn't catch good bait. I think I brought 6 skipjack with me, and I've gone through one. So it's not like I'm short on bait. I've got a bluegill in the other cooler. I don't know if anybody's found it yet. I put it in like a Walmart bag or something, and then put it in a gallon Ziploc, because it's in the good cooler, the drink cooler, not the bait cooler. Oops. Oh well. And it's weird, because the only bites I've really had are on the second rod and the 5th rod. There was some action on the first one that I think one of the fish from the second rod, because when we were really into the second rod, the first one was getting a little weird, but they weren't actually twisted up together. I'm gonna go cut up a bluegill. Down there at the bottom.
This one I usually use. I think so.
Yeah.
Full purpley.
I do believe this bluegill was bigger yesterday. He shrunk in the ice. While I'm processing bait, pull out that other skipjack. Yeah, the skipjack have tough mouths. You caught a snail, yay! You the best. Well, aren't they cute? mommy and daddy and 2 kids and 2 dogs in a canoe. Very close to my lines. Hey, Outfish Ontario, good to see you, good to see you. Less than an hour out, yay. Hey, Fat Cat, welcome in, welcome in. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there were catfish that big swimming around. I mean, they keep getting bigger. The bigger ones keep getting caught. But I think, you know, talk 180-pound fish, even on some of the stuff that we use, you know, because I think a lot of the catfish anglers use overkill, and that's me using 30-pound main line and 60 or 80-pound leader. And some of these guys go heavier than that. Like, you realize it's still a catfish, right? Oh well, I digress. Hey, Cowboy Joe. Yeah, Outfish Ontario as well. He's in Ontario. Cowboy Joe, the monsters are not here right now. They've gone away. Actually, Cindy, I mean, I don't think there's anything that we really need. I mean, I'd love to have a hose with a little squirter on the end so I can, run it out here from the spigot and, wash my hands right next to the water. But I don't think I really need that. It's one of those nice things to have next time I come. Overkill is 5 rods. Scotty? Just because your live streams have the exact same number of fish as mine do, 0, doesn't mean that you can talk to me like that. I am a legend in my own mind. Tell y'all a story of something stupid I did. We all love stupid stories, right? So I grew up on a farm. Fished. I'd tell you I fished damn near every day when I was a kid. Probably a bit of a stretch. But there was our pond pretty much had bluegill and bass and maybe a few catfish in it. But there was a catfish pond the neighbor had. Pretty much all that was in there was catfish, best I could tell. Went down there with chicken livers and whatever I had. Mostly chicken livers. And Charlie B's blood, or yeah, Charlie B's blood. Anyway, and I could catch some catfish. And when you're a kid, a 3-pounder looks like a monster. I remember my brother caught, I think it was an 8-pounder, and it was sitting in a freezer wrapped in a towel because Mom was looking into how much it was going to cost to get it mounted. And then she got the price, and it was no longer going to be mounted because it was ridiculously expensive. And anyway, so I grew up fishing. When I was in my early 20s, I got back into another spurt of fishing. And I didn't have any fishing equipment, so I went and bought a spinning reel combo. Went to the local lake with my then wife, and I hooked into what I would have told you was a monster. Of course, as a kid, I bought whatever was cheap. I got a Zebco 202, Zebco 404. I don't even think I ever could afford a 33 back then. So my rods are the same way. It's like, what do you got for $5, right? Anyway, so I bought this combo, and I didn't really know what I was doing with it except that it's spinning instead of spinning gas. And I hooked into what I thought was a monster. My rod is doubled over. I'm reeling with all my heart and soul, and this thing is. I'm thinking the rod's gonna break, and I'm kind of yelling around this little park pond. Hey, anybody got a net? Nobody did. When it comes to me, it's about a pounder. Apparently, I'd bought an ultralight rod. So I think I'm on the fish of a lifetime, and I'm on the. It was one of those that when I pulled it in, I'm like, oh god, I look like an idiot. But we all learn somewhere, sometime along the way, right? I mean, that wasn't the day I learned I was an idiot. I've known that for a long time. All right, these baits have been soaking long enough. It's time to get something else out in their place and check, see if I still have bait. This one is fishing on credit. So I guess earlier when it was going off a little bit, when I was reeling in the other rod, was actually a fish. So this one is going to be a skipjack hit. Absolute overkill, I get it. But I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life. Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone. And that one was only a 4-ounce lead, so This one's not feeling like there's any bait on it. There might be. Yeah, we split the difference. That was the belly piece, and this looks like a piece of gut or something that they couldn't quite get off. This is a 6-ouncer. We'll swap that down. I said these were all three-way rigs, and it looks like they're not. That's what I get for thinking. See, Scotty right now only have 4 of them in the water. So, there's that. And the reason I skipped the second one is because I've brought it in a lot more recently than these. Let's see. Where's my bluegill? There's my bluegill. As I went through the plastic bag too. The bluegill body piece. Again, a bit big for what I think's in here, but oh well. I mean, there's no rule that says big fish can't be in this water. Oh, this is obscenely light. And fishing on the credit. Fishing on the credit. I thought I was going to catch fish, but I was fishing on credit. Come back here. That was kind of a weak cast. Oh well. They don't all have to be in the back 40. This one feels like I don't have any bait either. Scotty, come get your damn turtles. You're stealing my bait and I ain't appreciative of it. You do know the camera's running, right? You know the camera's running, right? Okay. Your brother has a big fit when he gets recorded. So I lowered this one down to a 2-ouncer as well.
I caught one snail because it was attached to a leaf, and I caught all sorts of leaves. I caught oak leaves, I caught skinny, like rascals leaves, all sorts of leaves. At least 4 different kinds.
Best leaves ever.
Best leaves ever. Best leaf catcher around. Which is an improvement over last year when I was catching trees. So.
Fair enough. I never did go back and check this one. And also fishing on credit. Well, the good thing is something is out there eating my baits. Yeah, that's what I figure. Some of them are, but
Some of them were good size.
well, Scotty is the one that he's the turtle catcher. I told him to come get his damn turtles, but he didn't. He does not claim them as pets anymore, apparently.
I thought I was going to scare them off. But they were like, you can't catch them.
So you're not doing sugar right now, correct?
Right.
Good.
Oh, you need some sugar.
No, Travis is bringing me a pie.
What?
A pie.
Hi.
Pie. And it could be cherry, it could be apple, but it's probably caramel apple pie. And
That sounds painfully delicious.
well, I was just thinking of a phrase that rhymes with "sucks to be you." I mean, there were. Cindy sent me a picture of 2 pie crusts, but I don't know that I'm getting both of them.
Oh, are they here?
They're coming. They were
Somewhere?
about 40 minutes away. Yeah, so whenever I turn on streams, especially Cindy's, she's like, "Oh, tell everybody I said hey." Huh?
Yes, it is true. I do say that.
So she actually knows who Cindy and Travis are. Unlike some of you lunkheads, and if you're a lunkhead and you don't know who Skipjack Cindy is, look her up on YouTube. Give her a sub. Right number 3 is about... Joe, don't mess with me. Pier, I do have a good time on the water. I'm out here with my... Well, So I posted on Facebook that she was my super hottie once. Grandma did not like that. I don't think Grandma knew she even I were a thing, at least not a serious thing, but whatever. So she is not my super hottie. The lovely and adorable and very respected Ashley is here, and she is a super hottie. And I hope y'all have seen Ashley by now, because if you haven't seen her by now, she goes on a couple more runs. She's gonna be so skinny, she's gonna disappear.
I took Alex over that over there. I took the boys over there.
To show them one that you tried to kill yourself on last year.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna. Alex wants to do it with me tomorrow.
Y'all have fun.
Yeah, my car didn't like going up
Yeah.
there. I was like, I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun.
So last year, Ashley decided she'd map out a run while we were here, because she's like, I could do this. There's plenty of play. It's a park. Looks fairly flat. And then she apparently, they've got Mount Everest somewhere over here, and she decided that was part of her trail.
They're like 2-story houses with basements, and you can literally the drive-out garage is over the second story of the house next door, and they're just stacked.
So it kind of sounds like the San Francisco street that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Rice Aroni, which is the San Francisco treat.
I don't know what they do in the winter when it's icy, because
They slip and slide.
Yeah, I guess you have to have chains and stuff on your tires for that.
See, I've got my $1 million plan. I just need $1 million to put the plan into. So there are people that go to boat ramps in Florida, and they just look for people to do stupid stuff and videotape it and give their own commentary on it. I'm like, if we bought a house right next to one of those public boat ramps, get some, just right out the window.
There were 2 houses for sale that I was thinking about checking out on Zillow. They may need some updating, but that probably means they're in my price range.
They may not be watertight, but whatever. Let's see, catfish making babies. See, Cowboy Joe gets at least 8 rods. I'm not going to tell you how many I brought. Okay. 4 of these, 4 Uncle Lou's, 2 bumpings. I add hers at the end, so that is 11. And that's the catfish rods. I got 2 skipjack rods. That's 13. And then I got at least 3 ultralights. So there's 16. 16 effing rods. And I left more at home. I have a problem. That's why when talking to Travis Young and asking about the rod hole, he says, well, you got anything you want to trade? It's like spinning or casting. Of course, he said casting. Because, man, have I got some spinning stuff for you. So I was like, okay. Well, here's a rod I haven't used in a while. So back in, I think, 21, when the Catfish Conference was online only. I think it was 21, maybe 22. I don't remember. But because of COVID, CatCon they had 2 choices, cancel it or make it virtual. So they did it virtual. And Steve Douglas basically dared one of the guys that makes catfish bait to stick his finger in the dip bait and take a good chunk of it and eat it. And if he did, he'd buy 10 rods from him. So the guy did it. It was from Ripping Lips. And so Steve's like, I don't have a use for 10 rods. We'll give them away. And I won one of them. And so I called up Ripping Lips and said, okay, so I won one. Since you already got to pay shipping, can I buy another one from you and not have to pay shipping? And he said, sure. So I got 2 Ripping Lips rods, and they've been sitting. Um, Nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them. They don't have aluminum reel seats. They've got the nylon, graphite, plastic, whatever you want to call it. Which to me is not a deal breaker by any stretch. And they're kind of a maroon color, so they don't show up great on camera. I mean, slap a coat of paint on and they'll fix that, right? So I was like, well, I got one of these rods, and so I guess I've got a Chaos 50 or a Chaos 60. He's like, I'll take the 60. I was like, okay. So I swapped in that rod and reel for 5 rod holders. Because I really do need to pare down. Last year at the gathering, I sold probably 6 PC Fun reels and 2 or 3 Abu Garcias. So I just had too many. And then what do? I went and bought some more this year. I got 2 Alios 300s, got 2 Alios 400s, and I got that Chaos Pro. But now they're all for different things, right? The Chaos, or the Alios 400, the Alios 300s I should have never bought. Nothing wrong with them. I wanted the 400. The 400 was like 129, and these were like 70 or so. I'm like, well, it's a little smaller and doesn't have the bait clicker, so okay, fine. So I bought the 300s, and I like them fine. But they don't have a bait clicker. And I really wanted the 400, and then the 400s went on sale for about $100 a piece. So I got 2 of them. So the 300s kind of sit. But anyway, the 400s, I bought them specifically for Florida. Well, one of the specific reasons I bought them was Florida. Because when I go there, I've had one rod that was not secured. It was laying over a chair that was facing backwards. And something hit it, and the rod was in the water before I could even move my arm to reach for the rod. So that one was long gone. And since then I've had 2 other fish that have just they've hit, and one pulled me into the neighbor's dock, and one of them went straight out, and I tried to tighten the drag down, and snap, crackle, pop. So I decided I'm gonna have some the what? Oh. So those Alios 400s. So I could load them up with 65-pound braid and find out what did that to me. And last trip it didn't do it to me. Didn't catch it. Didn't get any of those good hits. Oh well. Gig I have not. I do like to fish on credit. Scotty, I don't love you anymore. Tomahawk FD, welcome in. So I am at Lake Chickamauga in East Tennessee. Every year, Trophy Seeker Outdoors, another YouTube channel, he does something called a gathering out here. Uh-oh, Ashley's rod. I mean, it's not ready yet, but something's hitting it. Yeah. So when it goes to at least a 90-degree angle, that's when you want to worry about it. I do believe that's got part of a skipjack head. You wouldn't count on what?
Said something's going to town on it.
Oh, going down it, yeah. So when the time comes, don't take it out of the rod holder. Just reel down 3 or 4, 5, 6 times till you get good pressure on the fish, because it's got a circle hook, and that'll.
I'll set it.
Yeah. When the time comes. That does not look like a turtle bite.
Um,
Yep, it went slack. That's a good sign.
yeah.
It just means he moved it forward instead of backwards. Yep, see, he's still flopping a little bit. It could be a turtle, but we're thinking positives. It's got a pretty big piece of bait on it, so it's going to take him.
A little while to get through with.
Yeah. Unless it's turtle, in which case he ain't never going to take it. Okay, just reel down just a little bit. Just tighten the line back up. That way we get a good idea if he's still dorking with it or not.
Try a bit more.
Oh, rod one's doing a little.
X now.
Yep.
Within the buffet line.
If I'm not mistaken, rod one was the other half of that skipjack head. Y'all can't see it, but I can. He's slack up the line and he's pulling tight again, so the line is still moving. You may not see the rod tip do anything, but the line is still moving. Do what?
Slow down. A little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if it just decided it didn't like that half of the head and went to the other half or what.
Is this tasting? We go find the other half of it.
Yeah, because that one was actually the weaker half. There's a good chance I'm gonna come back with a half shell on that one.
Ugh.
Just the side of the face with no meat left. Let's check yours real quick, see if there's any bait on it. Rod number 2's getting loving. Well, he dragged your bait a good long way because he went past the other line. Oh, went past 2 other lines. So rod number 2 wasn't ever getting hit. Yeah, he went a long way sideways with it. Send you back out with a bluegill head. Yeah, this one's still got bait on it. Hey, Joe Bradshaw, good to see you in here. Hey, Miguel, thanks for coming in. Well, if anybody knows anything about catching turtles, it's Scotty. So if Scotty says it's a turtle, it's a turtle. See, I'm used to ponds, man. Ponds were easy with turtles because, well, for one thing, they were snapping turtles around. Yay, big. But when they would claw around on the bottom, you get all these little bubbles, little air bubbles pop up. And you could tell. I mean, when you saw those bubbles, you're like, ah, crap, turtle. Get the bait out of there. But these little ones don't do that. Do what? Well, now when I asked Travis for the pie, it was before I knew the kids were coming. So I mean, it only seems fair that the pie is mine and mine alone. I'm not saying that I'm not going to share. I'm just saying my name ain't Sharon. I mean, it's currently one piece of pie, so I'm thinking, you know, if I don't cut it, it's still just one piece, single serve.
There's a pie chart of the amount of pie that you're about to eat.
There you go. No, don't hurt yourself. Oh, third rod just got a little bump. What? There you go. What?
So the turtles are cute from here.
Yeah, they're not that cute up close.
No. I don't want to be like in the water next to them.
Wow. Nice white wrist from wearing my watch. 7,543 steps today. And it thinks 3 flights of stairs.
Oh, I rolled over 10 when I was riding in the back of the boat coming in. Yeah, look, I gotta watch one too.
See, I get all excited. I'm like, look at how many steps I've taken today. And Ashley's like, that is like lightweight, boy. I'm so proud of Ashley.
It takes me a lot more steps to go as far as you do.
So, my original plan, I said, follow me over to the boat ramp. I'll back my truck in, put her in the truck, sitting on the ramp, and then I'd take her car back over here where I'm at, because it's
just over there, but
it's just over there, which is about a half mile away. It looks like to me. Might be 4 miles. I don't know. Then I come back, I get the boat, and I drive it on the trailer, and she could pull it out.
it was a very complicated plan.
Well, my first complicated plan was actually to turn the trolling motor on, start a route at the little dock over here, and go to the dock over there and end the route, and then try to get the
This was way more foolproof.
tell the controller, put the trolling motor in, tell the controller to follow to the end of the path, and then I'd drive over there and then use a little controller to get it to the edge of the dock so I could, then put it on the boat or on the trailer. And Ashley said, well, why? I could either drive the truck over there or I could drive the boat over there.
Like, it did not make sense to do all this extra.
And I was like, here's the keys to the boat. I said, do you know how to dock a boat or how to drive a boat? She's like,
I was like, yeah.
as good as my dad does. I'm like, which she thought was an insult, but
No, it
I'm like,
wasn't an insult.
uh-oh.
It wasn't an insult. My dad's always having to dock the boat in like terrible conditions.
Yeah, so
So it looks
it's
like
on the
he's not doing
intercoastal,
great
so
job.
you got, so it takes 2 or 3 attempts to get onto the sling, which is on the intercoastal, which you have to deal with tide, wind, and current.
Yeah,
So,
and weights and
Yeah.
everything else. So he does a great job of it.
he really does do a good job. I've been impressed by it. So I was like, well, here's the keys.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm kind of done with the boat. I've tried to kill myself in it, and then I've fallen getting out of the boat, and then fallen getting into the boat from the dock. Because the step is like, 1.5 feet, 2 feet. And everything on me hurt so bad that was the end of that. I'm going to check, see what this one's doing, because this got a nice hit. Now, I can feel the sinker on the bottom.
Start figuring out what we're doing next.
Oh.
Nobody wants to drink a gallon of water and drive 6 hours. 15 minutes.
If nothing else, I'm feeding the turtles real well. Aye. That's the youngest son. That's the good one. Well, actually, not good one, but gets in trouble at school. But he's a nice one. When he's not starting fights and getting beat up, but whatever. Hmm. So he's trying to learn to skip rocks. His technique's a little off. Gig ability. The problem is, oh my goodness, there was a big fish jumped up there. I mean, it I would have told you it was an Asian carp from here. But they said they're not here yet. The whole fish came out of the water, then blop. Probably a drum. But so I can only, like, if I'm down on my knees, don't go there. Trying to get up from my knees is not an easy task. And I usually use some kind of cheater device. But when you're trying to do that on something the width of a boat or the width of a dock, you know, there's only so much stumbling you can do before you become very wet. So yeah. What I need to do is I need to work on it. I went to physical therapy because of my ankles, and just riding the recumbent bike hurt my left leg because my muscle is so tight, like in the back of my knee. Every time it'd come back towards me, it's like, ow, ow, ow. So I've been trying to work on flexibility, stretching and stuff, but then when I do something and get injured, it just all goes to hell and everything tightens up. Hey, Melissa, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. All right. This guy, you keep saying left rod, right? Okay. The one closest to you is the left. The one furthest away from you is the right. That's how it is on my side, and that's how it's going to be. If this is one of those cameras that does the mirror image nonsense, oh well. So we're trying to get prepared for the storm coming through tonight. Actually, has driven the stakes on the tent deeper and got the boat out and put the boat cover on it. Try to keep stuff dry. I'm not really worried about being in the tent when the storm comes through, although I'm not sure how well her kids are going to handle it. I'm kind of one of those people, I'm of the opinion that, you know, if a tree lands on me, tree lands on me. It's probably why my body's in the shape it's in. That and eating too much. Gnats are starting to bug me. I guess it's time to try. I bought this stuff off of Amazon. People said it's really good. I think it's called No Nat. Sorry, I'm gonna pick up those sinkers I dropped earlier when I was changing them out. You're welcome for the view of my ass. So let's see how well that works. So I know I talk about Ashley and how awesome she is and all that fun stuff. It's true. But I think back to the women I chased, that I was interested in, that I would have gladly, and I hate to use the phrase, but it's the right phrase, settled for. And I'm like, I look back, I'm like, man, you're an idiot. No nats, Nonatz, using the finest botanical active ingredients. It ain't cheap, it's like $14 for 8 ounces. And mostly what it's going after are the parts that the skipjack has touched. Let's see. Active ingredients: centradella oil, lemongrass oil, rosemary oil, geranium oil. Hey.
You just have been watching me just chuck rocks into the water.
Yeah. I told them you're trying to learn to skip rocks. And that your technique needs a little work. Well, you want to come in at a very low angle, and that's how you get the skippy. Plus, you need the right rocks. Which leads me to an interesting story. So, when I worked for Dell, okay, you don't need to use big rocks. I worked from home. And one day I was watching a documentary on pirates. And I hear this voice. And I'm like, that sounds just like my team lead, Rob. And I looked up, and lo and behold, it was Rob, who I'd worked in the office with for almost a year before I started working from home, like remotely, different state. And so I talked to him one day. I said, I didn't know you were into pirates, because he was one of the experts that they brought in. I think the first rod moved of some sort, at least down at the rod holder. I don't know if the tip of it did. And so I got talking to him about pirates and shipwrecks and stuff like that. He said, one of the fallacies about pirates is that they had buried treasure. He said, that's not how pirates worked. He said, pirates didn't have a retirement plan. They would go out and loot, come back, blow it on hookers and booze. Their life expectancy was not long, because they knew if they got caught, that was the end of them. So they were very much live for today. And once they ran out of money, they went out and did another loot trip, and that's how it worked. They said, so the idea that they buried treasure is not really a big thing. Anyway, that was not the point. I'll get the point. He said, regarding shipwrecks, because I always assumed that shipwrecks happened in the middle of the ocean. I didn't understand things like the Intracoastal Waterway, or the fact that third rod just got a tap. That ships would tend to want to stay closer to shore, because that way, if there was bad weather and all that kind of stuff, they had somewhere to go, and so the water was not that deep. So, a lot of times on the shipwrecks, they sent divers down to get, like the gold and the silver and stuff that was on them. But there were some that, it was either too deep or whatever. And he said that he was talking to a couple of guys in Florida, and they lived down there. They were, lived on the beach kind of, and they would go for a walk pretty much every day. He said, after that third rod's getting some love, and he said, they said that after these big storms would come through, they would find these odd little shaped rocks. But they were great for skipping. And he said, and so they did this, you know, with some frequency. Until one day they picked one up and it broke. It was the gold coin. They had been throwing, the gold coins had been churned up by the storm. And here these guys were skipping them back out in the water. They said they figured they'd probably thrown $1 million back in the ocean. Everybody got quiet. Which means I probably need to make sure I'm still alive. That looks live. See if I get volume out of it. I heard something happen. That tells me I'm getting volume. Yep, okay, I'm still live. I still got 18 people watching. God bless each and every one of you. Here comes the family and the 2 kids and the 2 dogs in the canoe. What, babe? Ice for sale over at the boat ramp, or if you want twice the ice, you go down out of here to Hickson Pike. But yeah, there's ice machine over at the dock, the launch site over there. I have no idea. It's captive audience. You know how that goes. Twice the ice is $2.50. I bought a few bags. Just Google twice the ice near me or ice near me, and it'll show you. Basically, go out of here and hang a left on Hickson Pike, and it's maybe a mile away from a mile on Hickson Pike. Yeah, it's pretty close. Well, chat's not frozen. The stream's not frozen. I don't know if I just have a bunch of nice people that are just giving me watch hours for the heck of it, or people that just don't like to chat. Either way, thanks for being here. See what this metal rod's doing. They left me anything on it. Doesn't feel like it. First rod's getting some movement on it. If nothing else, I am feeding the crap out of some turtles. Let me check.
I have a 10, but
What you had? Well, oh, is that what happened? I've been using my card that twice yes, but the problem is you have to punch the button, swipe the card, punch the button, punch the button, punch the button, swipe the card, punch the button. It's always taking me.
well, I'm gonna need at least one bag.
There you go.
And I need two, and then I figured you need a bag.
I mean, should be at least 4 bags right there. Or no, 3 bags. If you need more, I got more money. I just gave you all the 1s and the 5. So the piece that I was trying to send out there was the empty belly. And it's hard to pierce, but apparently I managed to grab it. Okay. Wash my hands real quick. So that stuff's not really keeping the gnats off me. At least not off my hands. Huh?
Where are they going?
Where are they going?
Yeah.
They're going to get ice. Do you want to go with them? Okay. I assume that she told you. A little weird for your mom just run off and leave you here with me. Not tell you what's happening. Oh, still nothing new, but still says everybody. I got 18 people watching. Go look at the live stream itself and see what it says. Hi. Says 16. Says I've been doing this for, oh, that's 44 thumbs up. Got $2 on the super chat, my first one ever. Very appreciative for that. So for those that don't know, YouTube has 2 forms of monetization. There's partial monetization, which I'm in, and then there's the full where you get ad revenue too. And to get full monetization, well, to get partial, you got to have 3,000 watch hours in a year, and you have to have 1,000 subs. For the full monetization, you got to have 1,000 subs and 400 watch hours. No, 4,000 watch hours in a year, or something like 10 million shorts views in 90 days, or something like that. And I don't do shorts much, so there's that. So I was real happy to hit the partial monetization. Took a little longer than I thought it would, but I got there. So with partial monetization, you get super chats, super stickers, and members. And then with the full monetization, they add in your cut of ad revenue, which, I mean, I've talked to a number of folks that they go live, 2 or 3 times a week, and have a very decent following. Not, they're not the upper tier that, have hundreds of thousands of subs and stuff like that. But, they're talking getting a couple $100 at most out of YouTube a month off of ads. And, but then there's other people, please don't think I'm, saying that it can't be done. There, Catfish is one of those guys that he quit his job to be a full-time YouTuber. And Creek Fishing Adventure, same thing. Catfish Dave, same thing. And of those three, I only watch one of them. So I like Creek Fishing Adventures. I think he's a very wholesome guy that does content I like. He doesn't do live streams. He may do a couple, but typically doesn't. So that fourth rod, I see the line moving like something might be happening, but even the tip of the rod's not moving. It also looks like it has a turtle that's just kind of sitting over the line. So they maybe just tapping it. I don't know. It's weird to me that we talk so much about, fish seeing line and how, the wrong line and the fish, it scares the fish off. And then we have other times where fish just literally run into your line. It's like, okay, if they're running into 30 pound or 40 pound, whichever I have on, bright green chartreuse, whatever color that is, green, neon color line, how line shy can they possibly be? They won't touch a bait because it's got that attached to it, but they'll just run into the darn line. I don't know. Of course, it could be, different species of fish, or, catfish are not known for being line shy at all. I don't know. But my favorite one is, everybody and their brother is selling pre-made rigs now. And I get the convenience of a pre-made rig. I do. I understand why there are people out there that, go to Florida and they buy the pompano rig off the shelf. I understand that. They don't have to go buy 10, 20 hooks, line, learn how to tie different knots and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you tie it on and you forget it. Sabiki rigs, I mean, those are easily something that I'd rather buy than tie. But you got people that are adding big giant glowing rattles and flashing lights and giant floats and rattling Zara spooks and all kinds of stuff. And then they talk about you put this on here so it floats the bait up so it's more natural looking. What about that piece of hardware that's 3 or 4 inches long that you just put right in front of it? Where's the natural to that? I think that sometimes we get ourselves confused on what natural means. Oh, I digress. I hate gnats. They don't bite. They just annoy you. You snort them in and anyway. Let's see. Hey, Bill Owens, appreciate you being here. Well, I appreciate the good luck. I've had some good bites. Just nothing that materialized into a fish. A little frustrating. Oh, Scotty, they don't know it's line. They know that it's something that, the theory is that they see it and they this is not normal. I mean, the big gaping hook that's sitting there, that's perfectly normal, right? A giant piece of metal sticking through it, that is normal. But this little skinny piece of plastic attached to that's the weird one. The other one that gets me the Carolina rig doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So you Carolina rig, you got you hook, you got a few inches of leader, you got a swivel, and in front of the swivel you got a weight, and the weight slides, right? It can slide up and down the line. So the theory is that the fish can pull on the bait and not feel the sinker. But we're tight lining. So when the fish pulls, it is going to feel the resistance of the rod. So if you're saying that the Carolina rig is so great because they don't feel any resistance, but they do. If a fish pulls on this and the rod starts doing this number, they have to be able to feel that. I can feel the resistance when I do it with my hand. But no, man, you got to have that weight on a slider so they don't feel it. Okay, well, I mean, I understand the difference between 10 ounces of weight and, an ounce or two of resistance from the rod at the very beginning points of it. I give you that. But I think I overthink how much we overthink things. We want that natural presentation, so we float the bait up off the bottom. How is that the natural presentation? If there were a dead piece of bait or a dead piece of fish, where's it going to land? It's going to be on the bottom. So why does floating it up make it more natural? And Wildcat and I have had a discussion on this, and I will defer to him. I'll give him credit for some of it. He uses a lot thicker line than I do. But I have found fluorocarbon to be the biggest effing myth out there. Everything about it, it's supposed to be stronger. The same diameter, it's not. Mono's stronger. It's supposed to have less stretch than mono. Probably does have less stretch. I'll give it that one. But the strength, the knot strength on fluorocarbon is absolute garbage. It doesn't like to be bent tightly, which is how you tie knots. And so I Googled, searched around YouTube, and there was this one bass guy that's like, I didn't like it until somebody said, well, you're tying the wrong knot. You need to use this specific knot. And he went through it and did it, and side tied it, and I put it on my little rig tester, and it still broke. 20-pound line broke it around 15 or so. Whereas with mono, I can get knots that are 23, 24 pounds on 20-pound mono. So, I don't know. I think it's bullcrap. Yeah, and it's supposed to be invisible underwater. I've seen a lot of people compare, and again, they're using 20-pound or whatever, and to the human eye, from clear to stained to dirty water, I don't really see a difference. Now, fish don't have human eyes. They're also not using a camera, so there's that. I get that there's variables. It's supposed to be more abrasion resistance. Salt Strong did a number of videos out there where he's rubbing it up against sandpaper, mono versus fluorocarbon with like a 10-pound weight on them, and rubs it across the sandpaper, or sandpaper across it actually, and see which one gives up first, and it's always the fluorocarbon. Granted, we're not fishing with dry sandpaper, but whatever. Where you at? I'm at 93, Cindy. So Chester Frost, you got the main thing, then you got that little, a little causeway, and then past the ranger station, you get to this. It's not an island, but it's a landmass, and there's another causeway to a much bigger landmass. I'm in the middle, the smaller landmass. Past the ranger station, not just right there at the ranger station, but past the ranger station. There's, I believe, it's the first left. And you'll come and then you'll follow the sun around. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Y'all are a godsend. 'Cause otherwise, I'd be sitting here talking to myself and probably deciding to take a nap instead. Because nap would be just as productive as what I'm doing right now. The good thing is I haven't had a muscle relaxer or a pain pill in several hours, so that's a good sign for me. Like I said, I was really worried about my back after that hit it took yesterday. Try stretching a little bit. Just you see my big bald head come in here. Okay, so no gnats is not as great of a product as I was led to believe. Now, I didn't bathe in it, but I did spray myself with it. Sprayed my hands. That did not resolve the issue. And Cindy, if you come through, you'll see a big red tracker boat attached to a gray Nissan pickup. That's me. So I don't know who does the testing on these coolers. You know, holds ice for 5 days. Granted, if you're going to do that, you need to put ice in it the day before to cool down the cooler before you start. Then you empty it and then you put in all your cold stuff with ice. And that's supposed to start the 5 days. So you're supposed to put cold stuff in there, and it's supposed to be a already cold cooler. But, and of course that's under ideal conditions. It's like Schrodinger's cooler. As long as nobody opens it, there's still ice in there. And I think it's until the last tiny crystal of ice is gone. But yeah, I mean, we're filling, I put ice in these yesterday. I put ice in them Thursday. Put ice in them yesterday. Wait, today's still Friday, isn't it? Okay. So yeah, I put ice in them yesterday morning. Put ice in it earlier this morning. And now Ash is going to get some more ice. For 5 days, my ice. And I see all these little turtles, and they're all just sticking their head up going, "Hey, Mike, thanks for the freebies." But I'm like, y'all should be fat by now. Y'all should be so fat that your shell is cracking. Because I've been feeding y'all. But I've seen 3 just right here. Together. So I know they're out there. And then I got a group out there that is kayaks and stand-up paddle boards. There's 2 stand-up paddle boards, 1, 2, 3, 4 kayaks. At least 2 of the at least one of the kayaks is a tandem. I think 2 of them are tandems. And what I've heard about tandem kayaks is they are the best way to get a divorce. But maybe that's just fishing kayaks. I don't know. There's always somebody doing more than the other one, and stand-up paddleboards, those are the ones I don't get. I mean, I can't even stand on the damn dock without falling over, so we'll just start with that. These people are standing on this piece of foam, glorified piece of foam, out on water. I don't get it. Of course, they're probably going, look at that fat guy over there on YouTube watching rods do nothing. To each his own, I guess. But I think about those pond prowler boats, those little 10-foot plastic boats. And yeah, they're supposed to have a capacity of 2 or 3 people. I mean, 2 or 3 really very skinny people if you go by their weight capacity. But I don't know many people I want to be that close to on a boat. Y'all are an excessively quiet bunch today. There we go. Hey, Catfishing. Hey, the 2-time. I'm trying to catch a big one. It hadn't happened yet. Bob and Doreen, good to see you. Cindy's actually coming up here to the gathering. Look, Scotty, you clearly work for Big Cooler. I see who you are. You just, spreading myths and stuff. Okay, so yeah, it needs to be closed and nice and shut up. Nobody asked you. As turtles are your friends, bastards. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't say that word. Some people get mad and throw fits. But yeah, you can keep your little turtles. Okay, Fishing, how you doing tonight? So we're at Lake Chickamauga in East Tennessee, which is part of the Tennessee River system. And we're out here feeding turtles. I've had a couple of good hits that did not look like turtle hits to me, but usually turtles will do that slow and steady pull. Or just sit there and gnaw it in place. They don't tend to do runs. So when I was a kid, one of my neighbors, he was about as country as you could get. Walter. He was hard hearing. He was a good man, but he was not. He chewed beech nut, and he would spit it in the floorboard of his truck. Most of the time, his trucks would have a tin can with a rag around it as the gas cap. He beat up his trucks good. Good old country boy. Best way I can say it. I was fishing out of his pond one day and caught a snapping turtle. And he said, pulled it up. I said, what do you want me to do with him? Because Walter's one of the people, he'd make turtle soup. I would take him, the ones I caught on my pond, he would make turtle soup out of them. He said, just hold it there. So I'm holding my rod. Okay. This turtle is dangling, the snapping turtle, which I would tell you it was, this big. It was probably not quite that big. But I'm holding it. He gets a 303 British rifle, which I am guessing, based upon what I have learned, that was probably spoils of war back World War II, probably. So I am holding my rod, closing my eyes, holding it off to the side as it's dangling there, and he fires it. When I open my eyes, I see parts of the turtle landing on the other side. I don't know how close, needless to say, that would not fly in today's society. Firing a gun anywhere near a kid. But this feels a little light, a little empty. Oh, nope, it is. Just like my soul. Let's see, do I have a piece of bait left in here? No. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull them in. The reason being, that bonfire is going to start at 7, or it's 8 rather, 7:45. And Ashley's going to be here and wanting to start getting ready. And Cindy's supposed to show up, which I would love to have her on the live stream. But I'd also just like to hang around and chat with them. I don't know. Something just rolled in front of me. It was either a gar or a carp. I didn't see it well. It was one of those things that I didn't realize something was happening until it was kind of flashed in front of me. So last year at the gathering during the meal, well, I got down to the shelter that they were going to be at early, and I was fishing. It was probably this bay, actually. Now I think about it. And cast out a bunch of lines, and then went over to the pavilion. I was hanging out there. Well, the first fish, it was before that everybody got there, and I was searching for bait, going up and down the coastline. I just heard some doors. Is that Ashley? Yeah, it's Ashley. And I was, probably a good 100 yards away from where the rod was, and it started going off. And the people that were at the little shelter where it was, I think they said something, or I don't know. And Ryan Borch was there. Ryan went ahead and he reeled that fish in. It was a little 3 or 4 pounder. And then Shelby, which is Josh, can't remember his last name right. He brought bait last year, which was very nice of him. Supposed to be bringing Josh Thompson. There we go. His granddaughter, maybe. She's like, "Hey, can I release it? Or can I take the cover? Go for it." So she takes the hook out, she releases, holds it up, releases it, and all that. Great. That was easy. And then while I was at the gathering, I think it was after Ashley won her rod. Yeah, it was after Ashley won that rod. I was like, huh? Yeah. And I had an extra catfish special reel. Well, actually, I already sold all my extras. But I was like, well, here, let me put this on there. And I was like, well, I need to get some lines. So I went over, because all the stuff was over there where the rods were. And one of them was just a zinging and a singing. Pulled in a bass. It was probably 6 pounds. So I took it over to the gathering. They look. But I didn't weigh it. My PB is 5 pounds. It was. I do believe it was bigger than that. But I didn't count it because I was fishing for catfish on cut bait, right? And I don't know. For me, a PB bass needs to be on artificial when you're fishing for bass. I don't know why, but I think because when I caught that PB bass, I was at actually an internet get together, bass fisherman, and I had my wife and my daughter. She was about 1 year old at that time, and I caught that bass with her in the boat. So I'm not really in a hurry to break that PB. It was, it's not very often that you get to share that kind of experience with family. I mean, she was 1, she didn't care, but it meant a lot to me. So, anyway. And this year we're up at Pavilion 4. So I didn't see any good fishing spots around it. So this year I won't be fishing while I'm at that shindig. But they provide a full catered meal. Last year people brought stuff. I think Bobcat. I think Catfish Hunters TV. There are 3 different people that brought barbecue, and they had fixings and all that stuff. This year, I believe it's being catered in, and paid for by sponsors and all that. Daryl raises money for it. It's the amount of marketing he does for this, and the amount of work he puts into it, and the amount of sponsorships that he gets is just incredible. Um, like I said, last year, I would say there were, third rod's getting some love. There were at least 100 people here, I'd say. And there were so many prizes that he had to go through the list. He went all the way through the list. Everybody got something. And then there was still another one. Now, this is an interesting little bite. And all you have to do is just suck that bait down your throat and take it. And I think that's exactly what he did, but he didn't take the hook with it. Prick. Let's see. Is that the bluegill body? Another bluegill head is on Ashley's. I don't remember. Actually, I think that's a piece of skip's got. In any case, I do believe I just got cleaned out. Harold was just came over here a minute ago and asked me if I was still alive. He's not comfortable with being on YouTube. So I probably need to go ahead and shut this down anyway. Like I say, we're at 7:30 the bonfire. We probably need to start heading down towards that anyway. I was hoping Cindy is going to show up here. I'm not sure if she got lost or she's over there. I'll refresh my chat and just make sure I'm not missing anything. Hey, everybody. I missed a lot of stuff. 3-ounce Sunny. We didn't get skunked. Hey, Break Optic, I understand, my man. I understand. Aiden, you fought a 9-pound bass. Well, did you win or lose? I don't know my turtle fishing very well. Whatever. Sorry, I'm not as good at use turtles. Caught a bass so big before it broke my line. I got lots of things. I've hooked in lots of things that broke my line. Cold Creek. What rods am I using? These are anvils. So I've got the Uncle Lou rods are sitting in my boat. They're in a different rod locker. These are all in the one. Plus this rod socks were a little wet, so I pulled them out. These are 4 anvils and then the force rod holder from Triple City Anglers. That's the one Ashley won last year. That's what I got right there. Hey, LDTV. Appreciate you coming in. Gay bitches. That's one way of looking at it. 007, 0 bites, 0 fish, and 7 rods. Well, Gabe, I don't know how to help you here, buddy. That's only 5 rods. And I've actually had several bites. So I have but one ass for you to kiss, but take your time. Thank you, Scotty. You defended my honor. No, I don't have any of the new lip and rip rods. The rip and lip rod I've got one left. I only had 2. It's the maroon. I think it was their original. I forget what it's called. Hey, buddy. I've gotten bites. That's it. Hey, Northern Fishing Outdoors. I think I'm gonna call it. I can get these reeled in. Pretty sure this one just has bait stolen by those little jerkwad. Oh yeah. Oh. Now he pulled it off pretty far away from the sinker slide. It took me a minute for the weight to kick in. But yeah, he stole my bait. One of Scotty's little friends. Scotty has crappy friends. Wait, I'm one of Scotty's friends. I mean, fairness. I'm still a crappy person. This one, I believe, was the other half that skipjack head, and it did get some attention. Let's see. And now it's just, yeah, it's. So I did cut it in half, but there's nothing left that anything would want to eat except maybe the eyeball. So that was definitely turtles. Scotty. You expect Scotty to take care of you and get rid of these dead gum turtles, but he doesn't do it. Some kind of friend he turned out to be. So anybody who's new to YouTubing or wants to get into YouTubing, you never close down a live stream until you brought all the lines in. Because every now and then, something will be on your line. And you didn't know it. I mean, last time it happened to me, I ended the live stream early, or quickly. All that was on it was a bullhead, but that's more than nothing. There's between a complete failure and just a partial failure. And this one also, I can feel it has nothing on it. So essentially all of them were fishing on credit, but one of them did have something still attached. Well, folks, that is going to do it for me for tonight, for right now anyway. I think we're going to pack up our shindigs and head down to the bonfire and do all that fun stuff. God, I am good looking. I mean, for a fat guy. You're just here to aggravate me. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for joining, everybody. Appreciate you being here. I'm sure I'll go live again tomorrow. May go live later tonight. Who knows what I'm going to do? But thank you guys for watching. You are a blessing. And love each and every one of you, sort of, kind of, maybe, I don't know. Bye. Oh, yeah, like and subscribe and crap like that.